Now that the recording is running, we've previously announced that we would be recording this open meeting and that Palmetto GBA has consented to the recording. So I have just started the recording of this open meeting in compliance with CMS, and for the record, prior to doing so, I announced that Palmetto GBA would be making an official recording of the open meeting and consented on the behalf of Palmetto GBA. We are here today for the implantable continuous glucose monitor, LCD, and I believe that Dr. Kaufman is here from Sensonics. Are you ready to get started?
Oh, sure. All right. Well, thank you for this opportunity and to present to Palmetto on the implantable continuous glucose monitoring system, ICGM, and also on DL38743 and DA58277. My name is Dr. Francine Kaufman. I'm the Chief Medical Officer at Senseonics. I'm also a Distinguished Professor Emerita at the Keck School of Medicine at the University of Southern California in Los Angeles. I'm the past president of the American Diabetes Association, and I'm also still a practicing endocrinologist. Next slide, please. So my conflict of interest is that I am the Chief Medical Officer at Senseonics Incorporated, the maker of the only implantable continuous glucose monitoring system that at this point has been approved by the FDA. Next slide. Just quickly to show the system, it has three components: a fully implanted, very small sensor that's placed in the upper arm by a trained and certified healthcare provider. It has a duration of 6 months and gives continuous glucose monitoring readings. A transmitter is placed over the sensor. The transmitter is removable, rechargeable, and held in place with a mild and gentle adhesive patch. And then it not only powers the sensor, the transmitter, it also gathers the raw data, calculates the glucose value, sends it to an app on the cell phone, and a new glucose reading is available every 5 minutes. Alerts are elicited both on the arm itself, on the app, that are auditory as well as visual, and data management occurs on the app as well as in the cloud through a data management system. We were approved by the FDA in February of 2022 for adults with diabetes. Next slide. Senseonics is in full accordance with the removal of the requirement that the beneficiary be insulin treated with 3 or more daily administrations of insulin, or using a continuous subcutaneous insulin infusion system or insulin pump, and also to add a history of problematic hypoglycemia. So the updated criteria for coverage for the ICGMs better reflects the current clinical evidence and standards for the reasonable and necessary use of CGM. There's actually a robust body of evidence in the medical literature supporting this position. There are a number of randomized controlled trials that have shown the benefit of using CGM in type 2 diabetes patients who are on only one insulin injection called basal insulin only, rather than taking multiple daily administrations of insulin or using an insulin pump. There are also reviews with meta-analysis that show CGM use in patients with type 2 diabetes compared to only using fingerstick blood glucose monitoring was associated with a significant reduction in hemoglobin A1C levels. And there are also clinical trials that have showed the benefit of detecting hypoglycemia with CGM in type 2 patients, regardless of their overall diabetes regimen, compared to not having CGM at all. The major professional diabetes associations in the United States have made favorable recommendations for the use of CGM, in particular for patients with type 2 diabetes on basal insulin only. Next slide. So Senseonics supports draft LCD DL38743. The changes in coverage are in concert with the medical literature and the positions of the professional diabetes associations. The updated coverage criteria provides parity to coverage criteria across all CGM systems, whether it's DME or implantable CGM. However, we do respectively request that Palmetto add all relevant ICD-10 diagnoses so that both DME, CGM, LCD, and Palmetto Part B ICGM have parity on ICD-10 diagnoses. Next slide. So in our official comment submission, we have provided a list of 81 ICD-10 diagnoses codes currently not included but are included in the DME CGM LCD. So this creates some confusion among providers who are really looking for consistency across covered diagnoses. And we do feel that it is essential to have at least 4 of these codes. One that talks about diabetes mellitus due to underlying condition with unspecified complications, type 1 diabetes with unspecified complications, type 2 diabetes with unspecified complication, and specified diabetes with unspecified complications. Next slide. So in summary, Senseonics appreciates Palmetto's timely review of the ICGM LCD to bring coverage parity across all CGM systems. We support the updated coverage criteria included in the proposed LCD, and we request that the draft coding article include the requested ICD-10 codes to ensure parity across CGM systems. And I thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it greatly, Dr. Kaufman, as do we all. And we will look over and respond to all comments during the comment period. Thank you very much. Does anyone else have any comments or anything they would like to say? Okay, I will take that as a no. Patty, do you have anything to add? I saw you lit up a little bit there.
I do not. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. If no one has anything else to say or anything else to add, then I will ask Melissa to bring this meeting to a close, and we will end our recording. Again, the recording will be available on the website. And if there are any questions or further issues, we are easily reachable. Thank you very much.